Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. It seems our second day of investigation is coming to a close now that we've witnessed Filch and Florence LaBelle talking about testimony together. Though, of course, one was very much coaching the other. There still remains one little thing that we haven't wrapped up on this day, which I imagine is where it's going to take us next. And that is the bracelet reaction we had to something that Jinxie has said. So let's get that information, and now with all the evidence we've gathered about the chamber and the whatnot, I think we have all the ammunition we need for our next day in court. There they go. Missed our chance to get the truth out of him. Yeah, but we'll get the proof we need in court tomorrow, one way or another. All that's left now is that lie Jinxie told. Indeed we are. We better go clear that up before tomorrow. You think they're done questioning Jinxie? Maybe. Let's see if she's over on Yokai Lane shopping for more charms. Is that what she does all the time? Just charms, charms, charms to stick on her head. Charms, 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 well, to stick on my head when I think about it. Oh, not again! Accursed nine-tailed fox, the time for settling the score is nigh! My grudge has but festered over time. Alas, vengeance will be mine! She must be possessed. Sleepwalking again. Maybe if I speak softly, I won't startle her and get a charm plastered on my forehead. Tss, Jinxie! Huh? Oh, hello, Mr. Demon Lawyer. Ah, my charms must have fallen off again. Okay, we got some new ones. We're safe. Phew, guess I can avoid a charm slap by turning down my cause of steel. Are they done questioning you, Jinxie? Uh-huh. And on the way back, I stopped here to buy a new charm that was just released. Yeah, which one? Oh, the one with the nine-tailed fox and Temataro. It shows them dancing together. Really? Two bitter rivals dancing together? Uh-huh. It's a charm for rebuilding burnt bridges. Oh, right. For the municipal merger issue. No, it's for the demon lawyer and the insomniac prosecutor. You mean me and Quill? I forgot his other bit of his name. What the hell is his name now? It'll stop you two from fighting like you did in court this morning. We weren't fighting. It was just a spirited debate. It's what we lawyers... Ah! No fighting. Charm slapped again. Apollo, if you're done playing around, let's find out what she was lying about. I should probably remember what Mr. Quill's name actually is at this point in time. Black Quill. I was going to say Dark Quill for some reason. Don't know why I was getting that so wrong. I'll just call him Simon. We're on first name basis now, you know. I guess I've got to talk to you before I can use the reactionary bracelet. Jinxie, it seems like you're starting to remember things. You already said the feathers and tracks weren't there when you discovered the crime. Have you remembered anything else that seems important? Like what? Tell us what you saw that day. Maybe you'll remember something else this time. When I opened the door, Papa and Alderman QB were collapsed in the Fox chamber. That's when Papa told me to call an ambulance and the police, so we woke up for a bit. That's all he said before he passed out in the chair. So he was awake and doing stuff for a bit. I knew it. She's holding something back. So, let's try to find out. So what am I looking at? I'm going to look at the smaller image first. Did he not pass out in the chair? I can't see anything going whatsoever at this point. So let's listen again. There he is. That's obviously not all he said. That's got to be it. The quivering here. I should probably leave it to go on to the next sentence to check for definite. Gotcha. But I think that's it. Obviously you can't see in the small image. Why was I trying? You're very nervous when you said that's all he said, weren't you? I know, because I saw your fingers move as if you were going to slap someone with a charm. Huh? Listen to me, Jinxie. This is very important. Did Mayor Temmer say anything else to you? It was nothing. He was just talking in his sleep. Talking in his sleep? So you admit that he did say something else? Ah! How could you tell? Only a demon could have such powers. Well, I am a demon lawyer. technically a lawyer for demons too. Right, tell us all you know. Like I said, he was just talking in his sleep. I mean, why else would Papa say something like that? Could you be a little more specific? Before he fainted, he said, "Forgive me, Jinxie. I killed Alderman Kyubi." He said what? The mayor actually confessed to the crime? But he didn't mean it. He couldn't possibly have known what he was saying. He was probably possessed, or maybe he was in the middle of a nightmare. A nightmare? No, this is a nightmare. This is one statement I wish I'd never heard. What in the world are we gonna do now? Return to the basics. That's right. Always believe in your client, no matter what happens. Do I have to believe what he said too? That is a lawyer's greatest and most trusted weapon. Right. Just believe in my client, even if all I can see ahead is darkness and despair. Jinxie, does Prosecutor Blackwell know about your father's confession? I didn't mention it when he was questioning me. I mean, there's no way Papa's the killer. Why would the mayor confess like that? Could he really have been dreaming, or simply delirious? Who knows? But I sure feel like I'm in a living nightmare right now. Apollo, what are we going to do about tomorrow's trial? The crime scene was locked tight until Jinxie arrived, and our clients even confessed. Not only that, Jinxie's been accused of planting the yokai evidence. Both the mayor and Jinxie are going to prison if we don't do something. I know. Well, let's see here. A lack of a third party in a locked room is a major problem. Jinxie has testified that when she first opened the door, Alderman Kyubi and Mayor Tenma were the only people she saw in the Fox Chamber. But the real killer must have been hiding in there as well. Considering the room was locked tight, that's the only logical explanation. A mystery person must have then fled the Fox Chamber when it was opened. And that's when Jinxie saw what she thought was Tenma Taro. But Papa and the Alderman were the only people there. I didn't see anyone else. But your eyes are so shifty again. What's going on here? The bell's extremely pale, but he's far from transparent. So just how did he hide himself at the scene of the crime? Whatever it takes in court tomorrow, Apollo. We have to take down that dirty rotten Tenma Taro Florent LaBelle. Right, we'll get him with a legal exorcism, justice style. And so we move into the trial. With a bombshell, of course. Here we go. Are we moving straight to court? Or just to the entrance? Nope, straight to the court. Day 2. Court is now in session. All rise. Technically, it would be like the bailiff or something saying that, mind you. Court is back in session for the trial of Damien Tenma. Apollo Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor. Athena Cykes, assistant defender, is ready too, Your Honor. Je suis prête. As cheaper as ever, I see, and in French no less. And the prosecution is rechained. Are you actually chained to the bench now too? Very well then. By the way, I asked Detective Fulbright to provide sturdier shackles today. There'll be no more of your funny business this time, Prosecutor Blackwell. This is where he just breaks it, right? Now your opening statement, if you would. I believe it's standard procedure for the prosecution to handle it. Looks like the judge is really bringing it today. He probably realised how Blackwell played him. That was one mean game, as Simon says. Yeah, His Honor has to fight to defend his honor today. Your boldness. It's plain to see that you always dreamed of delivering an epic opening statement. I have? I don't know if I should say that. Why, of course you have. I saw it in your eyes the last time you gave the opening statement. That was the look of one who yearns deeply for the feel of an epic opening statement. For decades now, you have been watching opening statements from your bench. They were the crown jewels of the court. One thing you could not possess. The crown jewels of the court? Now, at long last, they are within your grasp. How could you possibly refuse? Oh, so you don't mind if I do it then? I'll make a special exception. Just this once. Here we go again. Yep, more of Blackwell's mind games. Well, in that case, I think I might go ahead and make the opening statement myself. In yesterday's session, we learned the shocking truth that the victim older than Rex QB was the Amazing Ninetales. We also learned that the Amazing Ninetales was a key figure in the yokai craze and anti-merger protests. It was further revealed that upon learning Rex QB's secret identity, Mayor Damien Tenma murdered him. The fact that the crime took place in a tightly locked room was also brought to light, and the only people in that tightly locked room were the defendant and victim. The defense proposed the existence of a hypothetical third party, but further investigation revealed no proof of a third party who had escaped the room. Ergo, we must conclude that the evidence against the defendant is, well, conclusive. Did I say something wrong? That was quite astonishing. You've truly outdone yourself this time. Well, one more thing to boast about to my grandchild. Well, this was not an unexpected turn of events. Now then, it seems the prosecution has called a new witness to testify. The inexplicable yokai evidence left at the scene of the crime. Well, does that demand some sort of explanation? The feathers and tracks were those left by the mayor while he was possessed. That was but an act to protect his daughter. Yes, of course. I suspected as much. Wait, did he actually believe the mayor's award-winning performance? His daughter was the one who planted the yokai evidence. Ergo, the true identity of the yokai in the manor was the manor's maid, Jinxie Tenma.
Objection!
The prosecution is engaging mere conjecture. Would you care for some witness testimony then? For I am ready to prove that a little scamp is the one behind the Tenmataro farce. Witness testimony? I bet he means Filch and that creepy label. Very well then. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness? Filch. Mr. Filch, you made quite the hasty exit yesterday. See that it doesn't happen again today. Been known for my hasty retreat since I was a kid. Bit of a trademark of mine. Indeed. You managed to give a total of 5 bailiffs the slip. What of those amateurs could ever nab me? Perhaps we should shackle you by the neck. That would keep you in place. No please, I'm liable to rip my own head off if I start running. Your statement, now. Yes, sir. Mr. Blackhead, sir. He may be the hasty retreat, but there's no escaping Prosecutor Blackwell. Yeah, Blackwell doesn't strike me as the give-up easy type. Now then, Mr. Filch, your testimony, please. Specifically, the true nature of the yokai you saw in the manor shortly after the crime. Right, the yokai is Jinxie. Temperature's really that little maid girl, ain't no doubt about it. I mean, the temperature I saw was just a little thing about her size. A little runt out of a big old staff. I seen it when she came into the foyer. Betcha she stole it from the Forbidden Chamber after stumbling on the crime scene. Wait, how do you know there's one in the Forbidden Chamber? She was going to use it while I'm on account of my first reputation. I just know it. So, Tenmataro was short in stature, and that's because it was Miss Jinxie Tenma all along? You betcha. Besides, all the rest of the manor were way taller than her. Feigning height is but an easy thing. But a big old ox like the defendant could never pass for short. What if the Tematara impersonator was working on their knees? Or walking on their knees, even? What, no knee walking? I've seen it myself. Then perhaps that yokai really was Miss Tenma after all. All monsters are naught but tricks, either of the mind or the cheap parlor variety. Still saying she created an illusion? Created? Oh, my words today. An illusion like one of those magical eye things? Precisely. Human senses are easily deceived. Take the fellow in the cell next to me. Each night he cries and screams about some ghost he thinks he sees. But in truth, it was simply the janitor. Ha ha! Protocol Blackroot just gave up the ghost. Literally! The janitor's deathly complexion and all-white attire are, no doubt, partially to blame. That and the fact that he constantly mutters about taking vengeance for this or that. That actually sounds like a real ghost to me. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. So what am I looking for here? Obviously, like, I'd be going, like, straight away for the fact that the staff itself was in the thing. But I guess we don't actually have a staff to present. So that's not something I'm going with. What am I going with? I guess press and we'll find out. Tematara's really that little mate gal, ain't no doubt about it. That's a bit of a mean thing to say. Mr. Filch, you and Mr. LaBelle mentioned something about that practice yesterday. Do you deny this so-called lesson was about what you were supposed to say in court? No, you got it all wrong. Then could you tell the court exactly what sort of lesson it was? Oh, it was, what was it again? Yeah, oh no, remember? Math, you know? Numbers and stuff. He's completely under Blackwell's control too. Anyway, that Tematara was that little maid gal, so what's the difference? I mean, the Tematara I saw was just a little thing about her size. Hold it. I take it you got a good look at how tall the Tematara impersonator was? Yeah, betcha. I'll have it sizing people up. I can even give you a primer on how to pull it off. All under the table, Nash. I've got a knack for figuring out where people's pockets are and how much money they have. I size them real good before I leave them with their valuables. You just admitted to being a pickpocket right here in court. And as the witness hold that this Tematara entered the foyer. Darn right I do. But the little runt and the big old staff, I seen it when she came to the foyer. Hold it. Well, you're not gonna brush it all off by claiming the pet was short. You're short. Must say it raw north, because I'm not tall herself. Who's talking, mister? I've got to stand on a box just to testify. Exactly. Anyway, Mr. Filch, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say the Tematara you saw had a staff? Cross my open eye. I know, because it went a jingle and a jangle. And where do you suppose that staff came from? The staff, you say? Well, I bet she stole it from the Forbidden Chamber after stumbling on the crime scene. See, this is the suspicious statement. Alright, so I suppose you mean to say that Jinxie Tenma entered the Forbidden Chamber to get one? Well, I ain't never seen a staff like that in the manor. So it had to be the Forbidden Chamber. How do you know it was gotten into? Oh, really? The stench of LaBelle is thick in the air today. Jinxie entered the Forbidden Chamber after the incident. Then she took the staff and tried to cover up her actions by pretending to be Tematara. I guess that's what Filch is trying to say. Could Jinxie have even entered the Forbidden Chamber if she wanted to? There is one thing I was wondering about, and what is that, sir? Why did that yokai have a staff in the first place? Well, I've got my hunches about that. What is your hunch then, sir? She was going to use it on me on account of my fierce reputation. I'll just know it. It's got to be the fourth statement we're going for, but let's go and hold it there. Wallop you? And why would the so-called yokai want to do that? That little makeout never did like me. Why not? She always hard-tells it when I come round, or she sticks his weird papers on my noggin. She probably thinks of him as the dreaded Tanuki monster of QB Manor or something. We need to prove that Jinxie isn't Temataro, but I've no idea how we're going to do that. All we have to do is prove that it was impossible for Jinxie to turn into Temataro, and that might be easier than you think. Really? Now's our chance. Our chance to expose the real Temataro for all to see. If we're talking impossibilities, then it's on the fourth statement, 100%. Mainly because he's also doing the super shifty look. So we've got to prove it's impossible. Well, the fact is that the key was swallowed, wasn't it? So it must have been swallowed pre her even entering the room, which places her outside of the ability to be able to be the criminal, right?
Objection!
It would seem that Temataro was in fact not this innocent little girl. Huh? How you figure that? You claim the Temataro you saw had one of those staves from the Forbidden Chamber. But it would have been impossible for Miss Tenma to get a hold of one. Care to elaborate, Mr. Justice? The mayor swallowed this key shortly after the murder. He wanted to keep the killer out of the Forbidden Chamber. What's this? This key was deep in the mayor's stomach when Miss Tenma discovered the crime scene. You see, it would have been impossible for her to get into the Forbidden Chamber. In short, the Temataro seen holding that staff could not have been Jinxie Tenma. What? But then who does the defense believe would impersonate Temataro? Our Temataro impersonator is none other than Mayor Tenma's aide. Such accusations beg evidence. Aside from his ghastly appearance, can you prove he is the yokai we seek? Yes, in fact, I can. Very well, let's see where the defense is going with this. Mr. Justice, please show us proof as to the true identity of the Temataro impersonator. Well, it's got to be what we found, isn't it? An item that was recently dropped in the Forbidden Chamber, showing who's got it in it.
Take that!
It's this. We found this hand cream in the Forbidden Chamber. And we know that whoever was Temataro took one of the staves out of there. In short, I believe whoever this hand cream belongs to is the yokai impersonator we're looking for. But Mr. Justice, how do you propose to identify the hand cream's owner? I'm glad you asked, Your Honor. The defense requests a fingerprint analysis on this piece of evidence. It might tell us who it belongs to. Interesting. Do you expect to find the yokai's prints there? Very well. I hereby call a short recess while we wait for the fingerprint results. No need for that, Your Boldness. We have the prints of everyone at the manor that day. You called Prosecutor Blackquill! Could anyone be more whipped? Fulbright. Analyze this for prints. You have 3 minutes. Your wish is my command. Very well then. I guess we'll just wait right here. It would seem the fingerprint analysis is complete. What do the results show? What in the world? They're Florent Labelle's prints, aren't they? This is absurd. Prosecutor Blackquill? I'm not gonna like this, am I? Don't tell me! They're Temataro's prints! We don't have Temataro's prints in the first place. Fingerprint analysis has revealed that the prints belong to... the judge? The Hawk. Phineas Filch.
Objection!
Wait, what? What? Then Mr. LaBelle wasn't the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber?
Objection!
Why, you tricksy little tanuki? Explain yourself now! Sure, them prints are mine! I mean, I did peel for that hand cream from Mr. LaBelle after all.
So you're the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber?
So what if I did? Got a problem with that? Ah! You fool of a tanuki! Order! Order! Mr. Justice, care to explain what this could mean?
Excellent question. The fact that Mr. Filch was in the Forbidden Chamber... Wait a second. Does this mean the 10 Matara holding that staff was Phineas Filch?
Ah! Another cat out of the bag! Mr. Filch is 10 Mataro?
Short of stature? I don't understand. Does this mean Mr. Filch is the real killer?
The witness will explain himself this instant. Begging your pardon, your honourship, but I was just doing what the alderman told me. He wanted me to be 10 Matara in the village exorcism ritual.
Oh, you mean that event at the Ninetales Vale Festival? So that was you inside the 10 Matara costume?
Yeah, and after the event, I went to watch that pro wrestling program. But it brought me to tears on account of the wrestlers being complete jobbers.
So we didn't actually watch the entire wrestling match?
That's when I looked at the 10 Matara costume and got a great idea. Nobody can tell it's me while I'm wearing it. And because of them superstitions, no matter what I do, the villagers won't say a word. In other words, use the superstitions to effectively render yourself invisible.
Why did you want to enter the Forbidden Chamber in the first place?
Because of the treasure there.
Thought that was my big chance. Sneak on and nab it. Treasure?
Only that's the greatest get-rich-quick chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it. Said there's an amazing treasure in there.
He went in there not knowing his grandfather had already pilfered it? Guess that's one tale that didn't get passed down from grandpappy to grandson. Wait, how exactly did you get into the Forbidden Chamber? There was a meeting in the Fox Chamber that day. Plus, the mayor swallowed the only key that could open the Forbidden Chamber's door. You couldn't have possibly gotten in.
I could through the air vent in the foyer.
No, we know you didn't.
Events left the alderman's picture. I went in and made a nice little hole. Used that to get in the header that leads to the Forbidden Chamber, I did.
You what? Wait, that leads to there? But how's that even possible? Wait a sec. Remember that air vent in the Forbidden Chamber? So Mr. Filch found a way to get into that air duct. And that's how we got from the foyer vent to the Forbidden Chamber vent?
So 10 Matara was nothing more than a cat burglar. Or rather, a tanuki burglar. And we're back to being without anyone to charge for the alderman's murder. Or are we now?
Looks like our so-called yokai is never more than one big troublemaker. Tell me, Mr. Filch, what did you do after fleeing to the foyer?
I got out of costume right quick. Well, it just caused trouble at that point.
And where's that costume now?
Heck if I know. And it ain't my fault if you never find it. The police searched every nook and cranny. No yokai costume was left in that manor.
What if it was tossed outside the manor? Ah. No way. But maybe, just maybe.
The defense seems to have hit upon an idea. Well, go on, Mr. Justice.
Okay, here's what I think. Mr. Filch, did you get rid of the costume here?
Right, the window is what we're aiming at.
Take that!
Did you toss it out the window? Because that would certainly explain why it didn't turn up inside the manor.
You think I tossed it out the window? That costume cost me a pretty penny. So why would I go do something like that?
I can think of a few reasons. Any bright ideas, Apollo? Well, assuming the costume really was tossed out from the window, then the next question would be, what happened to it after that? And if I'm right, I might have just the thing to prove what happened to the costume. A certain newspaper report, which we'll delve into more next episode. So at this point in time, it looks like Phineas, he definitely had the ability to move around enough to cause the crime. However, he's basically saying he was never in the main room at this point in time. So that just leaves a lot of holes in this case. We know who did it, we know who was there, but actually, do we know? Oh, this is so confusing as we continue on next time on Dual Destinies. Join me then. Bye-bye.